Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Jamie here. Hope you're all having a great week. So, this video, I wanted to talk about 7 ways that you can find silver linings in any setback or disappointment. We've all experienced disappointments or setbacks at some point in our lives. Some of them are worse than others, some of them are easier to recover from. But not all disappointments are the end of the world. Certain things might seem terrible at first, but it might lead you to something better. So there's different things you can do to find, these silver linings, ways that kind of, make you realize that these disappointments aren't as bad. So, the first thing you can do is look at it as a chance to reevaluate things. So, for example, if you lose your job or you're in a tight spot financially, you break up with a significant other, that can often seem like a bad break. But when negative things like this happen, it can force you to move in a different direction. It can also be a chance to change careers, focus on personal growth, or cut spending on things that you don't really need. So it can really help you start to, reevaluate, the priorities in your life. And, you might have been, already realizing that these things might be an issue, that maybe you needed to change, but this is a disappointment or a setback can kind of force you to do that. And luckily, if you're lucky, it won't be something that's hard to recover from. So just look at it as a chance to just take a look at your life and start to reevaluate things that you're currently doing. Also, some disappointments can make you more compassionate. So if you experience hardships for yourself, that can show you that bad things can happen to good people, whether they deserve it or not. It doesn't matter who you are, bad things can happen to anyone. So going through the same difficult situations as others can help you become less judgmental about their situations. Can also help you view someone suffering not as a threat to your own life or your own lifestyle, but as a source of empathy that can help you grow emotionally. So you see someone that's homeless or someone that, maybe is having, a mental breakdown or something like that, going through a hard time. You don't know what they're going through. If they are getting divorced or something like that, and then you're going through a divorce, you start to empathize with their situation because now you understand what it's like to go through the same situation. Um, you can also it can also help you take time to think about why you should actually be grateful. So it can be difficult to show gratitude when bad things happen, but it's important to recognize that things happen for a reason. If you break up with a significant other, lose your job, have an unexpected big bill, from a hospital or something like that, think of what opportunities that can open for you. So list things that you're grateful for, and it'll help you appreciate things in the face of a little adversity. You also want to create a plan for moving forward. Things will always change throughout your life, but it's important to try and take control to bring positivity back into your life. So you want to try and create goals to work towards. Otherwise, it's easy to pay attention to the bad parts in life. Remind yourself of all the great things that you could still accomplish, and you'll start to realize that the goals you create are still in sight. So meaning, if you have sort of a 5 or 10 year plan of where you want to be, let's say you want to, make 6 figures and have 2 kids, be married, have a house by the time you're 30. If you're not there yet, it's okay because maybe your priorities, have to be adjusted a little bit. Maybe you decide you only want 1 kid. You're okay having a smaller house, things like that. Or even if you do have those same goals, if it happens a couple years after you expected it to then it's still okay because you have time to work with. You have time to still get there, and you'll get there when it's meant to happen. Also, you want to get in the habit of using different words. So it can be easy to only speak negatively, about bad things that happen to you, but it's important to teach yourself to start thinking positively instead. So search for opportunities to do better instead of pitying yourself, and avoid constantly questioning the things that you do. So start telling yourself that you can do anything, and eventually that negativity in your head will be wiped away. It's easy to say, once you if you lose your job, it's easy to say, I deserved it. It was never a good job for me. I was never good enough for it. But that can be an opportunity for you to say, this wasn't the right fit for me, but I know I have the skills to do the job, and maybe move on to a company where the job is slightly different but still makes use of your major skills. And that could end up being a blessing in disguise. It could be a better opportunity for you than your previous job. Another thing you can do is try and view this situation as an opportunity. So, like I said, it's helpful. It's helpful to view situations that you're in for a reason. Treat it as a blessing in disguise. Even if you automatically view critiques from others negatively, try to pull positives from their messages to find something that you can work on to improve yourself. If a situation is likely to happen again, protect yourself from making the same mistake twice by learning from your mistakes. So if if you have a job that you get fired from, and you weren't keeping up with the work, you weren't asking the right questions, you weren't being vocal or assertive, and that's something that was brought to you by multiple people, then it's likely that was a major factor in you losing your job. So try and work on that. Try and work on being more assertive, and you might notice a difference in your next job. You might get ahead quicker. You might get promoted for being more proactive, for asking how you can help. So different things like that. You want to keep in mind, and just try not to make the same mistake twice. Try and learn from them. It'll definitely help you avoid these disappointments in the future. Um, so the last thing is, you want to remind yourself that you have the power to change your situation. It can be uncomfortable trying to improve your life, but you don't always have to be stuck. Push yourself to be in control of your situation, and you'll always be able to rise up. So finding silver linings can be difficult, but learning to have a positive attitude can help you rise above any setback. So, you always want to feel like you're in control, that as long as you have clothes on your back and a little money in your account, you can do whatever needs to be done to put yourself in a better situation. It's not always easy. A lot of it is, the mental aspect of convincing yourself that you can put yourself in a better situation. But if you can just stay positive, get your support system, whoever that is, and just keep moving forward, eventually you will end up in the place that you want to be in, the place that you're meant to be in your life. For me, my own silver linings, I my biggest disappointment is failing out of college, but that set me on the path to meeting my wife. Because if I hadn't failed out of the school that I was at, an hour away, I wouldn't have been in the position where the day that I met her, I likely wouldn't have been there to meet her. So that's as disappointing as it is you know to know that I lost a few years off of graduating earlier, making more money sooner. If I hadn't met my wife, I might not be married right now, so maybe I would have been making more money, but I'd miss out on that part of my life, so I probably wouldn't be as happy. I was also disappointed at not getting certain jobs, but because I didn't get those jobs, I was able to get a much better job a few months later. So even if there were jobs that I thought I would have wanted, and maybe maybe turned down because it was farther away. I got the job that, I wasn't even aware of, that just kind of came into my life, and it was a much better position for me. So just keep in mind, the world has a way of setting you on the right path. So even though things might seem tough, try to keep a good attitude and learn what you can while moving forward. I mean, I constantly have to remind myself of that every day, because there's always things that I go through. There's always things that, make me feel like, man, I wish I was in a different position. I wish, this would happen sooner. Um, but again, everything happens when it's meant to. So even if something seems really terrible at the time, just keep having faith, keep believing that as long as you're doing everything in your power to get to your goals, eventually it will happen, even if it takes longer than you intend. So that's it for this video. I hope this helped you out. I hope you could relate it to your own disappointments and setbacks, and you can keep this stuff in mind going forward. Maybe you're going through something right now. So again, just keep these tips in mind, and it'll help you get through these hard times. All right, so again, that's it for this video. If you liked it, like the video, subscribe. I'm always putting out new videos, always taking feedback for new topics. Always just doing what I can to help people. So all right, thanks again for watching, and I will speak to you in the next video. All right, bye for now.